guest has been a newspaperman all his life, from the Armagh Observer to the Dungannon Observer, then on to the Irish News, and finally to the Belfast Telegraph, where he spent 25 years writing and recording stories of everyday life in the province. Now officially retired, he has found time to dig deep into his memory and to recall stories of his life and times as a child in the 30s and 40s around Armagh. The book is called And the Band Played On. The author is Gerald Rafferty. Gerald, it's a charming book, there's no doubt about it.
Have you read it, Jerry?
I have read,
good.
I haven't read it all now,
Yeah.
they're all wee short stories.
Yeah.
I have a very short concentration span, you see. I read some of them.
Yeah.
But you actually are describing a way of life that doesn't exist anymore.
It's a way of life that has disappeared mostly. That's from the mid-30s right through the 40s.
What was life in Armagh like then? What are your memories? Because they're quite vivid in this book.
Well, at that time, the young people was mostly going to dances, going to the picture house, and smoking woodbine and Park Drive cigarettes. That is it.
There's a certain innocence about life.
Certain innocence about it, yeah.
When I think of Armagh, and you mentioned it in the book as well, I often think about this game of bullets. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, or road bowls it's called.
Road bowls.
Yeah, the bullets has been played in Armagh for about 250 or 300 years. It was introduced, I'm told, from England around about the plantation time.
Well, for those of us who don't know, describe it. What do you have to do in this game?
Well, the bullet is a round metal ball about the size of an orange or an apple, weighs a pound and 3/4 or 28 ounces. And when two men play a game, there's an area, a distance of 3 miles along the road, prearranged distance of 3 miles around. In fact, I've got the bullet itself here.
Oh.
It's Exhibit A.
Oh, give us a wee look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Go on. This is 28 ounces.
Yeah. Whoever can cover the distance in the least number of throws is the winner, over a 3 mile distance. And the starting point is a handful of grass on the road. Say you and I are playing, you know. You take your first shot, take a long race up to the mark, underhand shot, and you throw it down the road. But it's not as simple as all that. It's a skill game.
How far can people throw these things?
Well, I did know one fella, you've mentioned in the book, Billy George, and he actually had a shot of almost a mile.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, a mile. It was a fairly straight road.
All downhill.
No, it was on the level. But he became one of the finest bullet throwers around Armagh in the late 30s and early 40s. And he went on to beat the best throwers in Cork.
That's the only two counties in Ireland that
Yeah,
play this
Armagh
game.
and in Cork. Although they're two different styles.
I tell you, the Armagh boys are better, right?
Well, some say they're better, but the Cork men are very hard to beat. Yeah, because they haven't the underhand throw. They have a turn the arm and sling it into the air, and the bowl or the bullet is rolling from the back of the hand, it's spinning right into there, and it hits the ground again. It's just gaining speed.
And do you remember evenings as a child watching the guys up and
I
down
did, and I used to throw them myself.
Did you?
To stay, yeah.
You were also very keen on the fiddle, says in the book.
Yeah.
And you went to this a wedding party in a bar.
There was a wedding party in a bar one time. I arrived home out the Lochball Road on the bicycle from what we call the last house of the pictures. That was from 9 to 11.
Yes. What was the picture house
In the
called?
Cozy Corner Picture House, a famous picture house.
Cozy Corner
Lovely.
Picture House.
Great, you got in for 9pence or 6pence.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I arrived home, and this fella who lived across the fields, he worked with a farmer. In fact, he was hired with a farmer. And he was in an awful state. He says, "Come on, quick, get the fiddle. There's a wedding party down in a place down near Greg's Mill direction. Get on the bike and run." So I had to take the fiddle. And we arrived down this little farmhouse, a small thatched whitewashed farmhouse, you know. This fella had got married that morning in Armagh, and their honeymoon was a run up to Dundalk for the day. There's no Spain or the Canary Islands, right? Just to run up to Dundalk and back again, because he says you can't stay away too long. There's a couple of cows to milk and hens to feed and pigs to feed and all this sort of thing. So that was the honeymoon. So we came back And Jack, the fellow who called for me, he says, there's no music. I want a wee bit of music or something. And I said, it must be very hard up for the music when they called on me. I was only about 16 or 17, so I brought the fiddle down and into the house. There I am, the kitchen, the country kitchen. Big fire, big open fire, and it's blazing, but it'll put you out. And they were all sitting there drinking bottles of stout and bush and all this sort of stuff. And they asked me to play a few tunes. So I sat up in the chair, and a few old-time waltzes, the mountains of morn, and your mother come from Ireland, and all that sort of, and
Top of the pops.
A few jigs and reels, and everybody got up and danced. There was no standing ceremony. They didn't mind about how you could dance, but the thing about it, about 2 o'clock in the morning, this fellow who got married, he came bursting into the kitchen. He says, "Stop everything." He says, thought something was seriously wrong. He says, "No, the cow's calved." And so that was enough to bring the proceedings to an abrupt end there. And so everybody trooped out of the kitchen house. Everybody went out to the bar. And there was a cow with a lovely brown calf. It was like the nativity scene, in the straw and all this sort of thing. In the bar. And everybody went in. And then it was suggested that we continue with the dance and the carry on in the bar, not go back to the kitchen at all, into the house at all. So I had to sit on top of a churn. Churn. They put a chair on top of a churn, a very precarious position to be in, And they made me play. I didn't want to play because my repertoire was very limited.
3 or 4 songs.
Yeah, 3 or 4 tunes and waltzes and one steps and things like that, but nobody paid much attention. And the whole thing went to the swing with the cow was sitting there bewildered, and the calf, too young to know, and everybody enjoyed themselves.
I love it. You've some beautiful stories in the book. Would make a lovely Christmas present, wouldn't it?
Oh, it would, yeah.
Sure you'd have got it.
And cheap at the
Make a nice Christmas present for you to see the boy. Jerry, I think it's terrific that you've recorded these stories. There's some beautiful stories. And it seems I thought Down was the best county, but maybe it's Armagh.
Yeah.
Have a nice Christmas yourself.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gerald Rafferty. Now I can't